Hello everyone, welcome back to more AEW and TEW 2020. We are here the first week of April. First month that has full episodes of Rampage on it. Although still the first two episodes will be a little bit on the weird side just because they are still technically classified as events. We start off with, of course, our show of Dark as Abaddon defeats Kira Hogan, the Cangrejo. Lady Christine defeats Maria de Pasqua with the Queen Lock. John Moxley defeats Doc Gallows. Don't click, that's fine. Then Jordan Grace is seen in a vignette. She's in a gym, and she says, "Killer Kelly, I'll be honest. You surprised me with how much of a coward you are. I'm almost ready to come back to AEW, kick your ass myself." And then she brings her arm up to the camera. There's this really large bruise, maybe, well, more of like a scar on it. And she says, "Sure. You inflict a bunch of damage. You can physically scar people with your cheap tricks and your weapon shots, but I wear my scars like a champion. I wear all this on my sleeve because nothing is going to put me down, especially not someone as scrawny and tiny and cowardly as you." So Jordan Grace, a couple weeks ago, she was attacked by Killer Kelly. Now, she's ready to come back. Shotzi Blackheart then defeats Kylie Ray. Queen Lupa then defeats, other way around. Lavender Sky defeats Queen Lupa with the standing shooting star press. Nyla Rose came in and attacked Queen Lupa. Cody, you are not changing yet. So, to end the match, Nyla Rose, Queen Lupa, formerly Ember Moon, tossed Lavender Sky out of the ring, refs counting her out. Nyla Rose slips in, powerbomb, slips out, ref. I mean, they know what's happened, but they can't officially do the DQ because they didn't see it. Because they're too busy counting Lavender Sky out. Lavender Sky gets to the top rope, hits a shooting... Well, probably... I mean, it was a standing shooting star press, so she just gets in, hits shooting star press, wins. Nyla looks very excited about taking out Queen Lupa, and she slowly walks up the stage proud of her work. So Nyla Rose versus Queen Lupa, Nyla Rose versus Ember Moon. Takahashi defeats Davey Boy Smith Jr. FTR defeats the Hybrid 2. Very, very good work here. Jack Evans the weak link, which is understandable. He did miss about a year of action. Vicky Guerrero comes to the ramp after the match, and she laughs at De Pasqua and the Hybrid 2. Talks about how they were all defeated by random people when they could have joined the LWO, and especially De Pasqua could have joined the LWO. But they all rejected it. She laughs as she leaves the defeated TH2. Pasqua formerly managed Bandito and Dragon Lee. Bandito joined the LWO. Dragon Lee left for WWE. So, Pasqua, she wants to bring TH2 back up because they are a very good team that I need to use more. I mean, Angelico scored like a 73. That's the same level as FTR. Jack Evans, again, he missed about a year, and also I think Evans is probably the weaker link between the two anyways, but still, I need to use my tag teams more. I need to use everyone more. Io Shirai defeated Big Swole. And then the Best Friends are seen consoling Kylie Ray after her loss earlier on Dark. They're approached by Devon Dudley, of all people. Devon, as usual, starts preaching about the cult of Adam Cole, and he's eventually cut off by Trent, mocking him, just like, yeah, whatever, Adam Cole's all this, good and whatever. Devon takes exception to this and says that he will make Trent eat his words next week on Dark. He leaves, and Trent, Chuck, not really Orange Cassidy or Kylie Ray, are confused because Devon, as far as they know, isn't an active wrestler. He is an active wrestler. Oh, my brother. Oh, my brother. And our main event, Sammy Guevara defeats Penta with a 630. Pretty good show for Dark, as we move on to Dynamite. A show of Dynamite begins with Rami Sabay defeating Jeff Cobb with a brainbuster. Oh, sorry about that. Rami Sabay, very good performance, nearly into the 90s. Jeff Cobb, very good performance. I need to use him more. There's a lot of people I say that about. So after the match, Griffin Slade rushes into the ring. Griffin Slade being MJF's new bodyguard. As Rami Sabay is celebrating his win, And then Griffin Slade wrecks the man of the people as MJF cockily walks down the ramp. He's twirling a mic in his hand as Slade is playing with his prey. Slade's a really big dude, so I don't think it's too difficult. Sami Zayn's not the biggest guy in the world. And Slade says, Taz, MJF says this, sorry. Says, Taz, you guys always were good for a good distraction. I can always thank you for that. But now, Mr. Sabay, you're certainly someone with a lot of fan interest around you, aren't you? I mean, who can blame them? You're just generic, like the rest of them. You don't mind all those lousy hicks of themselves, but there's something you'll never be able to get around, and that's that you're a nobody. There's someone who got famous off of having their ass kicked, of dying in the ring, and if you ask me, that's not it's not a good way to keep a long career, or a good career for that matter, so I think I should just put that career out of its misery, and he's about to continue when the lights cut out, music starts playing. It's music that we haven't heard in a long time. Hold up, let me actually check what the name of the song is. It is Unsettling Differences. And when the lights come back on after MJF's yelling, MJF, of course, looking towards the stage now, Kevin Steen is behind him. Steen hits MJF with a stunner before hitting a pop-up powerbomb to the charging Griffin Slade. Steen helps Sabay up to his feet as the two hug. As MJF, that's supposed to be Griffin Slade. God damn it. MJF gets out of the ring. Chris Bay, Tenille Dashwood, and Deonna Purrazzo help him out. That was supposed to be Griffin Slade, not Griff Garrison. God damn it. But Kevin Steen, he is now here as well. After this, the TBS and US title tournaments are announced. Basically, we're introducing two new mid-card titles, a mid-card women's title and another mid-card men's title. Probably just the rankings for TNT and US will be the same. There's a lot of people who deserve titles that aren't getting titles. And the TBS title will help for getting a bigger women's division, better women's division. Like, we have a really good women's division, but it's very top-heavy. We need more mid-card people, because we have Kana, we have Mayu, we have Ashley Flair, sort of. But, like, other than those three, everyone needs a lot of work, especially because I've not booked Shida. Well, that's kind of the big one. But it's a lot of work to go there, and I think the TBS title will help with that. Those will start on Rampage. This week's Rampage, next episode. But I mean, that aside, that's just a good way to get things moving along. Get some more people stronger booked. After this, Brutality Inc., which is BPJ, Zach Wentz, and Des Xavier, defeat a bunch of people who are managed by Arn Anderson. That's kind of the thing here. Real quick 6-man tag, and Pac gets into the ring afterwards with a mic, and he says time's running out. All these damn bugs that have been buzzing around Brutality Inc. are about to be squashed, and there's nothing that's going to stem the tide, Miro. You've been offered a seat in Brutality Inc., and you've denied it. And not only that, but you've attacked me. That's something that I cannot accept, but still there's more. The Briscoes' time is limited as well. Paul Heyman and his pack of goons have finally decided that the Hit Squad are deserving of the tag team title match that has been long overdue. There's nothing we will not do to win. Anybody who messes with Brutality Inc. will be crushed. So yeah, Pac's still feuding with Miro, and we have our new #1 contenders to the tag team titles, that being the Hit Squad, Des Xavier, Zach Wentz, MSK, Rascals, whatever you want to call them. They don't really fit in Brutality Inc., but oh well. They do here. Paquette is then interviewing CM Punk about who he wants to face next in AEW, and he says, well, I know I still have a bit of a ways to go before I'm ready to get that world title. If I have that win streak, there's still a lot of ring rust I want to shake off until I get into something as serious as title contention, but it doesn't mean I'm going to just pick apart a lesser opponent. I've had the match where I took out the biggest, most uptight asshole in the company. I've had the dream match against one of the biggest members of the youth of the company, but now I think it's time that two fan favorites clash. Orange Cassidy. I know you want this match, and I know you'll accept, even if you're a bit nonchalant about it. So, what do you say, Cassidy? Let's have a bit of fun in the ring together. So, CM Punk versus Orange Cassidy. That's going to be Punk's next match. Dustin Rhodes then defeats ZSJ Jay. Afterwards, Garza Jr. interrupts the festivities, and he walks out onto the stage and says, "The win streak continues, does it? Well, it turns out the next challenger for my beloved title is Dustin Rhodes, is it? Well, I'd be happy to oblige. Easter's always a fun little holiday, isn't it? But how about we make this Easter a little bit less fun? 2 weeks from now, I'll end your win streak with my title on the line. You can choose the venue. You can even choose the venue. Rampage, Dark, Dynamite, who cares? No matter what, you're going to be taken down, and I will retain my title." It's not officially going to be an Easter-branded show, but Easter would reasonably take place at week 3. Maybe week 2, I don't know. It'll be around that time. That's kind of the tie-in there. Again, not an official Easter-branded show, but Dustin Rhodes, I think, now that brings him up to a 12-0 win streak. Let me actually just double-check. Yeah, that brings him up to 12-0 on the year, which is pretty ridiculous. After this, a very irate Paul Heyman shows up on the screen, and it zooms out to show that his office has been graffitied by the Inner Circle. Heyman stares down the camera. "So I was willing to let you walk free, Jericho. I want you to still be in my good graces because you are, without a doubt, one of the greatest of all time, but, well, there are a few lines that we don't cross. And you've directly attacked management here, haven't you? Well, since we already have a main event for 2 weeks out, thanks to Garza approaching me in a proper and approved manner, well, I think we can still make out some fun for you. Chris Jericho, you've angered management and you've angered the Beast. Next week, you're gonna have to fight him one-on-one. Brock Lesnar versus Chris Jericho. And there's one of those two who hasn't lost his step since you two last met. So that'll be a fun main event. Very 2005 main event of Brock Lesnar versus Chris Jericho, but both of them can still bring it in the ring. And we'll see how that goes. After this, vignette plays showing Shinsuke Nakamura's career highlights. Vignette ends, Virgil Devitt's voice comes on, and he probably even shows up on the screen and says, "I can't help but say that I'm weirdly glad you came to AEW, Shinsuke. Never really managed to have a match against each other in New Japan, and now I think is the time we fix that. Pick a time, pick a place, I'll be ready to take you on, Shinsuke." Very plain. It's an easy way to start a feud. I still need to work on having feuds start in more mundane manners, because those are fun. After this, the TNT, the Dudleys, defeat Enzo and Lee Johnson. Enzo's just there because I wanted to have someone who is recognizable. I have some things planned for Enzo, don't worry. But again, as I mentioned last week, if he starts getting up to anything, or it might have been 2 weeks ago, if he starts getting up to anything, he is getting out of the door immediately. He starts a single event, he's gone. So Enzo, very short leash, but he still wins. And then Adam Cole was on commentary for the match, evaluating his cultists, and he of course denies that they're a cult. And after the match, he gets up from the booth. He announces that he is the #1 contender to the world title, and that as someone risen from the dead, and of course, the fact that he had to be risen from the dead was because of the so-called friends of the current champion. It's only right that he wins the title. You know, whole retribution thing, I deserve this because they killed me. He also announces that because of his guidance, Utami Hayashishida is the #1 contender for Mayu Iwatani's women's title, that his followers, and of course himself, will become the de facto faction of AEW, and any faction that hasn't risen from the dead will have nothing to say against them. Adam Cole the Zombie. Now this we see a vignette of a training montage between Charles Betts and Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki's seen training Betts with Kurt Angle, and Suzuki he's much more physical. He's, actually hitting Betts. Angle's more of like, hey, here's how you would do something. And Suzuki's like, alright, now hit me with it, and I'll start hitting you for real. Angle's speaking over the vignette. It's more of like not necessarily a reality TV show thing, but it's, you have the training background, then you have the cutaway, you see Kurt Angle, he's talking to the camera. I don't know exactly what those are called, but it's talking, and he says that, with Suzuki coming in as an additional helper, he's not officially part of Team Angle. Charles has been rapidly improving. He's been in AEW for a year and a half now, He's rarely gotten a chance at anything, and now that he is in the U.S. title tournament, well, it's only fitting for an Olympic wrestler to win some American gold. Yes, Charles Bett's part of the U.S. title tournament. I'm definitely going to forget to put up the brackets, but whatever, it's fine. And then in our main event, I forgot to change some of the booking of this. It was a roll-up pin. Moxley wins, defeats AJ Styles. AJ Styles is surprised by the quick roll-up pin with mere seconds to go on the time limit, and he quickly pops up and orders the Bullet Club to attack Moxley. Kingston rushes in to save Moxley, but the two are beaten up. But eventually, surprisingly, Cody Rhodes, the Nightmare Family, and Hiromu Takahashi rush up to make the save, and a big fight ensues within the center of the ring. Eventually, the Bullet Club are routed, and AJ and Cody draw back and forth, with AJ continuing his insistence that it was Cody's fault that the Bullet Club became a joke. Well, Cody, Kenny, the Elite, basically. It's the Elite fault that the Bullet Club became a joke. Show goes off to the air, with us zooming in as we see Cody, Takahashi, Moxley, and Kingston close together. That is fine. We get a 79 rated show. Very, very nice there. We're going to have to hope that Rampage also does very well as well. Not surprisingly, worst thing on the card was TNT versus Enzo and Lee Johnson. I'll probably change their team name, but overall, very, very good show. I'm very happy with this. But next, we'll have the first proper show of Dynamite, of Rampage. Because, well, we haven't really had a proper show of Rampage yet. But that, of course, will be for next time.